I have directly gone to Everest base camp.
Yeah. He just now said कि मंडी खा लिया. In the same way, hit the Everest base camp. Oh my God! 13,000 kilometers with a ceased whistle.
Adnan bhai has, I think he does exaggerate thing, but not. See, the right what Mr. Adnan bhai was talking about is I found a problem in this society, okay, and where I just want to communicate to the society as a whole, okay. But then since we don't have any financial backup or any institution which will be backing up for this sort of cause, I thought, okay, writing is the only medium where I can do it personally, because I've been writing since 2007, okay. So I only do odd jobs to fulfill my passion. That's it. So I'm not into career making and all. My entire focus is into writing, exploring things and all. Okay. So then, since there are various experiences which I thought of, I went to one point of life. This is saturation, I'm done with it. But then at the time of, at the edge, when you decide to end up your life, then if you think over it, if you end up your life, your problem will solve. You get rid of your problem. But then when you thought of ending up your life, okay, then where is the problem? You decided to end up your life itself, then which is connected to your life, it shouldn't be a problem, right? That way I thought of, and then I came out, I speak out of what, things which I'm going through, okay, in my, marriage life and all. So finally I started speaking out with him, okay, and he was a very dearest friend and colleague. So then the moment I spoke to him, he speak out. Because I came and I was very, transparent about my experience. He came up with the experience, and I thought, fine, let me just, talk to more people. Then when I explained to more people, I started getting input. Then I googled it and all, then I found that, they are like every 3 seconds there is a man is committing suicide in a society. Okay. So this, this topic what I'm talking about might not be, suiting to years and all, but then it's the actual fact. But then the main reason for it is not an anti-sex or anti-gender, because I do love my mother, I do have a sister, I do have a daughter. Okay, so I can give my life for them. So it's not about gender, but it's about the persons who are who are into a relationship, and then who are going through some disturbance, and they can't be able to speak out, because we do have a taboo in the society, like a men are not allowed to drive, but to that and all the stereotype, macho thing and all. Come on, we are as sensitive as any other, right? Other gender, we are strong by muscle, but not by heart, right? We are the same as sensitive as them. So that has many people are unable to express. If express, they're getting it's not negative, but then they're getting they have been a item of fun. Like people crack jokes on you. Come on, man, you can't handle this stuff and all. Try to be a man and all. Trying to be a man is not like like not able to cry or to show your power and all. It's about how sensitive you are, how responsible you are in handling, in taking commitments and all. So I thought, okay, fine, let me come out, of myself, and then I rode across pan India, all 29 states, Union Territories, Nepal, Bhutan. I covered length and breadth of the country, and everywhere where I have gone, and initially times I used to go to the main centers where the public gatherings are there. So that I used to stand with my t-shirt and all, with the bike placard and all, and then distribute stickers, and then I used to talk about there are curved forms where I used to talk about that. But eventually, after me crossing 6,000 kilometers, so then eventually this riding network and all, they started talking about it, and then they eventually started coming and organizing a group gatherings or like a conference or and all. So a huge number of groups have started pitching in. So there were I met almost like one-to-one interaction, 1,000 plus people, okay, who are actually victims. And then after listening to the story, I usually get goosebumps. I thought like my problem is no, it's not as intense as what I was considering it. Because I saw people, I heard their problems which they are going through, and my God, I was like crazy about it, listening to that. Because we feel that our problems are bigger, but then when we talk about the other people getting to know their problem, we rather evaluate it. Then we feel that we are blessed, even though we have a problem, but then we are blessed when compared to them. So my main focus was if you are going through violence or if you are going through some hardship in your life with your partner, maybe your wife or your girlfriend or whatever, you please let it out. Okay, do not hesitate. Because you are human first, right? Gender is the later part. Please share. You talk to your friends, talk to your siblings, or talk to your parents, or whoever, whom you are comfortable. Let it be. You let it out. The moment unless you speak, they never know, what exactly you are going through in your life. So you gotta speak it out, and then somewhat or the other, at least 1 in 20 people might give at least a moral support to you, tap your shoulder, bro, it's okay, even I'm going through, or I've gone through, or whatever it may be. I've known some person who has gone through the stage, but then he came out. This is how you have to change the way how you look into things. It's all about your perception and how well you handle it. Because usually people then they don't know, they get confused. When handling situations, they try to implement some others formula or whatever, and try to implement. Yeah, they were it's not the same. Every human, every situation has its dynamics of its own. Okay, it's different. But then your intention or your perception about thing is that first of all, if you consider it a problem, dude, it's not a problem at all. And then we pitch in like you do this, you do those, you make things better with your life so that you can lead a better life. So believe me, I get calls, across the country. I run a page, okay, which is like self-fundable, there's nothing to invest about. But then yeah, I'm the person, whenever I have time, weekends or whatever, I respond to the calls and all. People call me at the stage of urge of committing suicide, and then they talk to me 1 week, 2 weeks, and then their mindset, they'll come over that thing and then they forget. That's the output actually. If you have a problem, you come across a reach out with a solution, and then when you are settled with that, you don't even want to discuss about it. This is how it happened, and this is how it is, right? So there are many people who are very thankful, and I got a person in Bhopal, okay, he literally hugged me and cried me. If it wasn't you, I wouldn't have died. So the entire ride, which I have done 35,600 plus kilometers, 4 months on a stretch on road, covering entire Pan India and all. So that one life which I could be able to save, that's I have justified my purpose. But now I got a recent call from Germany. So guy, I'm going through a lot of shit, and then he bring me up, we are trying to sort out it. But I don't know the law over there, right? So it's kind of I have to study what exactly it is and how I feel in New York. So I have to study it. So I can't do that. But at least I could be able to do moral support at least. Yeah, I'm not here to give any legal advice and all, because since in the group there are many legal advisors across the country, I will divert them. But my focus is to get him out of that zone where he's saturated and he's suffocating. That first let him get out of the zone, let him breathe. If he breathes, oxygen goes in his mind and he can have a good rational thinking than getting into this emotional decision making. This is what. And then about my riding and also, I've been riding 2007, and then I started my ride in 1975 with Bullet. So which I used to do college, go to college and all, and then I prefer solo rides. So been every fortnight or once in a month I do ride. So I really don't put on into social media and all, because I want things. Because I'm doing this for myself, right? If I started putting it in the social media and trying to connect people, then it will become a pressure. So this is what I feel. Okay, I might be wrong, but for me it is right. So I feel it of unnecessary social pressure that you have to make a ride because there are certain people who are watching you. So I don't want that because I want to keep professional aside and passion aside. So I make sure that no one interferes in the passion. So I do it for myself.
It's very personal.
Yeah, it's very personal. Yeah, it's very personal. So recently on March. So yeah, while riding there is a limitation. Okay, you can ride where still roads there or still off-road is there, but then there are stones and mountains you can't ride. But the beauty starts at there. The beauty starts there. So I did a little, small hikings and all. In Kerala, one of my friends has this, has its own adventure thing in Munnar. So that has really made me, even she has a company. So that has made me fascinated. The early sunrises, you are above the clouds and all. That was like awesome feel, which I got that chaska of it. So I thought of going for a trek. I couldn't do that. But then one fine day, this last March, this year March, I have directly gone to Everest Base Camp. Yeah. Directly. Yeah, no. So I was recording the entire video vlog.
You are just saying Everest Base Camp.
So I've been to that and I'm recording because I am not I'm just an insect in front of mountains. I cannot challenge mountains, right? I'm just making up my mind one step at a time. That's it. I'm not challenging anything. I want one step at a time. If I could be able to do one step, I'll think about the other step. That's it. Not beyond that. And then I could be able to do it, but then that's a hell of the other thing. Or riding, eating, pura, get tail lele. Man, I'm telling you, when you are with mountains, that I started developing that interest actually. But that's totally a ball game together, and it's a totally
Ball game or nothing. It's just doing.
Completely resonant.
Ranting about it.
Someone said in Clubhouse that mountains will stop you from, rushing things.
We can't even rush. We don't have any control. You can't even have control on your breathing, man. Seriously. One step. Because I was not challenging myself. Though I spend money and all, but then I wasn't challenging. I was one step at a time. I take one step, I take 3 breaths, and then I take one step, I get 3 breaths. You can't sleep, you can't eat, I was hardly able to consume 1 liter of water. Why Sherpa was telling you should have at least 4 liters. But I can't even sleep. If I sleep for 10 minutes, I get up. I thought it's 6 hours or early morning and it's just 15 minutes. So it's like a tough, and I thought I'll die. But then the moment I saw the base camp stone and I kept my sticker and I hosted our national flag, all my, this has my tiredness, everything seriously got that knocked off. But then, so now I'm more inclined towards, this hiking and all. So hopefully I should rather, go into maybe the other mountain. So it's like that.
He said Everest as if it is a
No, actually what,
Exactly.
Actually I don't see, professional, it's mandatory for me to use car. Without car, because if I start my car, the login time will start. It's like that. So I hardly take steps and all. I can't even walk in those shoes. So I use this shoe so that my knees will not pain. So that is how it is. And you see my tummy and all, right? I'm eating. Okay. I can never compromise. No. Because I tried, putting down my weight because I was into NCC and all. Okay. So into other adventure activities, I don't know what to talk about. But then I put on weight because I started having food and all. But then I thought, okay, fine, let me just put on so that I can fit my own clothes. I have tried for 4 days. He is the one who has given me. I tried for 4 days, and then I started killing myself. why, what the hell you're doing with your life? What the hell you're doing? Why are you stopping food? That's the beauty you have in your life. So I thought, okay, go ahead with the diet. Immediately I got rush. I had a mutton mandi. Wow. This life is set. So we are not into some glamour industry so that our body looks matter. So I don't even make friends. Yeah, make friends with people who do body shaving and all. So that I did a challenge for myself. Can a guy like me, okay, a pathetic guy like me, can he climb Everest base camp? So I was recording vlogging, okay, all the time. This is this experience. I cried at some point, okay. But then I want to move. Let me see how this guy who hardly even had a 100 meters of walk could be able to do it or not. If I could be able to do it, I could be able to motivate other people. So right. So with that blog, so maybe very soon I could edit those things. I'm not sure, but then I have a YouTuber friend. Yeah.
Started off from Nepal or
from Lukla? Yeah. Came to Kathmandu, then I took a flight to Lukla. From Lukla to
10 days.
back to Lukla.
10 days trek, right?
It's 13 days. 8 days going and then coming back. Yeah. So in meanwhile, acclimatization and Namche Bazar and then a big Gujarat to wait. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. Acclimatization, 2 days acclimatization. Namche and a big Gujarat. So it was like that. But then so short story, long story short. No.
Short story long?
Short story. No, it.
We are not even trying to touch it actually.
No, that's what I seriously believe that physical fitness is for sure you gotta have it, but then beyond that you gotta have a mental strength.
Yeah.
Because thing is that whenever you're idle, because there's no GPS or there's no network and all. If you want to charge your mobile, it costs you $500. Okay, but then there are many points where you can't get this mobile signal. Wi-Fi is available, but then the kind of
phone calls and
quality.
Phone calls and all from satellite phones are very.
Satellite phone from the base camp ever the satellite phone.
When you talk about mental health, if you go for cycling, you would have experienced. Many dogs will come and be chasing you. You'll have to run. I have
we do long distance cycling, like 200, 300 kilometers. See, we sleep on when we are hungry. क्या मिलेगा वही खाना है. And then wherever you are sleepy, just sleep on the roadside. Then no comforts. How rich you are, whatever you have, but you have to do that. Like teachers.
Mental story. Dogs will chase you. All together they'll come 6, 7.
Make friends with dogs.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a better.
Come biscuits carry karo. This was nice.
So for my ride, I resigned my job. I was heading Coastal Andhra, okay, in a marketing same thing. I resigned my job and then with the settlement, whatever I have, I started my ride.
What are the challenges you faced in the ride?
Oh my God, it's very challenging.
One major challenge.
See, the bike which I chose was a 2008 cast iron Electra. Okay, cast iron Electra. So that's actually a wrong bike, because the problem is when I started from here, from Vizag, I got my piston seat at Vijayawada. Okay, so I took, however, see it's a cast iron engine, it will get it down. You need to top up your engine oil and then go. So I went to Hyderabad, I tried to show to one of the mechanics. Then he said that you need to change the piston and all, but then you cannot ride you have to ride 0 to 60 and then 5,000 kilometers and all. And he had showed me a budget and all, which I was not ready. And that too, after 2 days I have to go to Kundapur. Okay, Kundapur is a Rider Mania 2007. Karnataka, yeah. Kundapur Rider Mania was happening. So my official flag off was from Kundapur. Okay, so wanderers from Hyderabad, they have flag off. So I gonna be there. So I don't have time. I said, okay, do whatever adjustment you can do, but eventually I will start my riding. So immediately I have started my ride, and I rode almost 13,500 kilometers with a seized pistol, where I covered Nepal also.
just a moment. He just now said कि मंडी खा लिया. In the same way, he hit the Everest base camp. Oh my God! 13,000 kilometers with a seized pistol.
Covered Nepal also.
Wow.
It's that simple.
People were with me.
Simply.
So I did that. Okay. Then I came to Siliguri. Because I was heading to Bhutan, and I was told that Bhutan doesn't have the Royal Enfield and all service center. You rather fix your bike. If it gets broken, then you have to take some pickup trucks. Yeah. Then it will cost you a bomb. So I said, okay, fine. So I started in Siliguri. Okay. And then I started. That guy started changing the piston and all. So it was like, it took me almost 3 to 4 days, because to fix it and to keep the engine cool and all. So this 3 to 4 days is like it's a long time. That too for a guy who's in a longer ride. So for me, only thing I have a problem with is flat tire. Okay, which I had a problem at before going to Srinagar. There is Patitau. Yeah, Patitau I had a flat tire, so my entire day got ruined. And then the next day I was heading towards Srinagar, and there was snowfall. Okay. So they said that 3 to 4 days it will not get clear. So I came back. Okay. So this issue I had it's a nightmare for me, flat tire. So next to that there is a tire shop. Okay. So I worked at this tire shop for 3 days. So I almost changed 30 tires. I almost changed 30 tires, sir. Okay. And then I bought these tools, heels and all. Literally. I was never scared of flat tire. Henceforth. So I was like bindas. Puncture, go. I have tools. Okay, I have tools. So this is how it is. But then eventually, I changed my this, and then I started riding. I covered all Northeast and all. Then Northeast is a completely different story together. Okay. Then I broken my piston into 6 pieces when I was going to Bhopal from Nagpur. Okay. Then when I coming back, these 6 pieces of piston was sounding like chan like this sound. It was sounding like chan. Luckily the ring had not broken, but the ring down, the extension got broken, and then chan. I didn't even stop my bike. Since it's an old bike, you needn't require to switch on. You can take the key and take the tank. But now I don't want to stop because I'm not sure whether it's gonna start or not. I refueled, and then I came to Nagpur. Then I did my second piston change. So if I would have taken a Pulsar or a Cruise or whatever, I think I wouldn't have spent that much of money, because it cost me a bomb. In Amritsar, I parked my bike in one of the hotels, the low narrow street. One auto guy dashed and he left. So all the things got bent. So again I have to fix that blade. So there are many accidents which have happened with me. Okay. But then fortunately those are bearable, and I could be able to cope up, good injection, and then continue my life. So any next forum since now I'm in Vizag, so we could meet frequently.
You will be part of Naxal in Northeast. We will tell the story next time.
They strip me naked because my riding, because I'm fascinated towards my this army and all. I wanted the NCC, good decent of into artillery. So I was into access of good things, army things. So when I use my jacket and all, so it usually have that army look. I have a lanyard, I have this, that and all. Okay, so I put this cloth, bandana, or head and all. So it's kind of a commando kind of look. At the time it was flat. Okay. That was what of commando with the thumbnail. caught me and they stripped me up and all. Then finally, even I showed me, I was very humble. Why suggestion is when you're going, stepping out of your house, out of your state, you keep your attitude long and you be very humble, very humble. Then this humbleness has saved me in Nepal. Because in Nepal, this after crossing Kathmandu, this Dharan stretch and all, this 300 kilometers, 400 kilometers stretch was completely civilian strike. People are burning tires, blocking roads and all. So I started from Kathmandu going to Dharan. In the meanwhile, because my bullet gives 220 kilometers of mileage, it got thing and I was not aware of it. So people stopped me. Okay, like 40 people with all hockey sticks and they stopped me. Where are you going now? Fortunately, what I have done while entering Nepal, I have taken out my country's flag and I kept Nepal's flag because it's a kind of a due respect to the country where I am going. Yeah. So that has they have asked me what is this flag. I was carrying a 1 BHK in my bike, literally 1 BHK. Okay, if I could be able to show you photograph, you could be able to realize. So on the top of it, this flag. ये क्या है? They speak Hindi. I said like भाई देखो मैं आपके कंट्री में हूँ तो उसी के लिए वो इज्जत है नहीं यहाँ से जाना नहीं धक्का देके जाना आप जैसे बोलो मैं ऐसे ही करूँगा क्योंकि ये आपका जगह है राइट तो आप जैसे अपने मेहमान को ट्रीट करेंगे वैसे ही हम करेंगे उससे ज़्यादा तो मैं कुछ नहीं कर सकता that has made them feel little think over there so they said like we will let it go, but provided you have to take a selfie. Well, of course, why not? So they have taken, even I have taken selfies with the GoPro and all. Then they have called to their other people, do not stop this bhaiya was passing by. So all local Nepalis with their families and kids, they were pushing their bikes, they are not driving, but I was like riding very peacefully. So it was, then I got, petrol was over and then all petrol bunks were burnt. So one house was there, so I just came opposite to the petrol bunk. So I went towards the house and I requested like where can I get a petrol and all. So they 60 kilometers over there, they will find a black and they sell a black petrol, but it costs you 500 rupees per liter. Okay, INR that too. So I said okay fine, but I have some bike has already been reserved, maybe some 10-15 kilometers more, not more than that I could be able to ride. Because I have a seat system, so low mileage and even engine gets drained. Then I said, please wait for some time. So I waited, they have given me some food, they're small, they're cute kids, so I started playing with them. I also always carry chocolates in my bag, so I offered them. Then he called his son, he came in a Pulsar, blue color Pulsar. He took 4 liters of petrol, he poured it, and he was not taking money. Then I said, no, please at least take the cost price at least. Because I will not feel good about it. So because it's 100 rupees in Nepali, so I gave him 400 bucks and then I went to the place where, petrol was there, fueling. So there are many instances where, we usually say that, we are solo travelers, solo riders and all. No. See, we might do a journey solo, but from start point to the end point, we need people for us to continue or ride or travel or whatever, because nothing a person can do individually. It's about people, team or a group of people who will help you out. So he might be, who whatsoever, but we need people because without them we cannot, we usually sitting at our places we say stereotype or impression. Statement that this state is that state is that, all that bullshit. It's about, what I consider me after going to the ride, they might be 2% of bad people in this world. Rest of all are good, 19%. So they are good people is, there's plenty of good people across, world across.
I think that's good in everybody. It's just that they don't really expose themselves to the right people.
It's not an opportunity. But then, if I start a conversation like how many percentage you feel good people and bad people, some people say 90% are bad, 10% are good, 50% are good, 50% are bad. So there wherein I start, picking up a conversation like that. But then, our country is absolutely wonderful. Only thing is that you will be in love unless to be in more love, true love. If you travel and explore places and people are amazing, as you all guys, thank you for giving me the opportunity. Thank you so much.
Anybody have a question for Amit?
I mean,
Too much information now.
Yeah.
Like, okay. I'm too humble, like overwhelmed. I don't know how to react.
We just learned one thing. Just go.
Yes,
Just
go.
go.
What is feeling like?
Just what?
You're in the city, right?
Yeah, long time.
so today's motivation was
You are
Everest Base Camp. Just Everest Base Camp.
Please join sir for a group photograph. Come sir.